What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about NCT today, PolySwarm. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, okay? Here we are at about 2 cents right now. We look like we might be moving lower, and that's okay if we are. At a relative low nonetheless, this is a nice uptrend that you have, well established. My assumption is, just like a lot of cryptos, you probably haven't seen anything yet whenever it comes to the upside. I would assume that the next move up will be more robust and just larger overall at a faster pace. Robust is the right word, more robust than anything you've seen at this point in years, literally years. Right, since your last bull market, right? So you had weeks, your last bull market finale was 404% to the upside. You had a week before then that was 200% to the upside. Here, it was a big wick, but what did this do from a low to a high? That was a 250% move to the upside. You had moves that were 130%, right? You don't really see that so much these days. 100% there, sure. 70% there. I'm thinking you're overdue for a multi-100% week at some point. Now, probably not just yet. You're probably going to go a little bit lower first. The rest of the market, I'm assuming, will. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but you never know whenever you have that one outlier. There are going to be a very small select handful of coins that do pump while everything else is moving down. It seems to me that auction is one of those tokens, right? This one here, it's literally, I mean, you look at the sea of red, auction's green. It's kind of funny how that happens. Where's Kava on that note? Kava down here. Oh, Kava's down a little bit, but it's basically where it was 2 days ago, so whatever. Kava and auction are holding up very well versus the rest of the market, honestly. That doesn't necessarily imply that they're going to perform the best afterwards, but it could imply that, right? And that doesn't say that this won't perform well afterwards just because it's performing with the rest of the market, right? I do assume that you're going to do well. I do assume that you're going to do very, very well. From a high to a low, bear market low, bull cycle high on the fibs here. You did hit your 886. It's very common to go from your 886 like this in this kind of fashion where you just rip through the golden ratio and tip it to go back to your 382. It's very common to do that and find support. The fact that you haven't makes me think that you'll go down to your 236 and that will still be a higher low. So that's the call. That's the call right there. I believe you go down to about 1.3426 cents, right around that area. Let's put a line there and see if we can come up with anything that agrees in that area. Okay, let's just see. Right there. We got the fibs, the 236 of that overall fib. What about on a daily basis, daily aspect here? We zoom in. We zoom in. Let's see. I'm going to take this first pivot here, right? From a low to a high. The 2618 is right in that area as well. You're rejecting the 1618. You actually did tear right through the 1618 on your first attempt. Oftentimes, with these kind of maneuvers in the fibs like this, you do see the 2272 to the 2618, and right in there on the lower ends of that is the 1.3647 cent area. I think you could go down as low, maybe as low as 1.3 cents at the lowest, and if not, something around 1.6 cents. What would that be from your current price? We're looking at a drop of about 23% from here at about 2 cents to maybe 34% or even 37%. Man, maybe the average coin is going to drop more than 30%. Today I've been looking at some coins and it's like they're looking like they're going to drop closer to 40%. And some of them will. The lower market cap coins probably do see a little bit more volatility. They pump more to the upside. They dump more to the downside. That's a low market cap coin right there. Wow. Yeah. Less than $1 million in 24-hour volume. That's not bad. You know, we're in boring times right now. That's okay. It can happen. 38.5 million though. That's a very low market cap coin, guys. This coin, make no mistake, it could see multiple hundreds of X's by the end of the cycle. Very, very low market cap coin. Those are the coins that melt your face off, man. Let's just see what it did last cycle, for example. Or what has it done even this cycle? I'm not going to take the scam wick low. We're just going to go from the low of the bear cycle here back in November of 2022 to this high. I mean, guys, this thing's already seen 18x this cycle. If it were to go to new all-time highs, you'd probably see something that's an overall multi-100x, yeah, by the end of the cycle as a whole. Let's see. Last cycle low to high. Doesn't look like you saw 100x there. Maybe you did. I don't know. That is a 260x, yeah. Yeah, so yes, it's very, very possible. Am I right? Did I do this wrong? No, because that'd be 100x, yeah. Anyways, that was a multi-100x there. It could definitely see a multi-100x by the end of this cycle, and even more than that, right? 2 cents now, likely going down to 1.3 cents or thereabouts. If not 1.3 cents, I think 1.6 cents to 1. Yeah, 1.3 cents is probably a good target area to have. If we're looking at the weekly RSI or maybe the stochastics, they're not postured in a good position. These kind of readings in the stochastics can promote, if we look here, it can promote lower prices to come. You were oversold here and you were oversold for a while. Stochastics, unlike the RSI, they can live in their oversold and overbought zones a little bit longer. You're building bearish momentum, and hey man, this is nice. This looks like a coin that we were just talking about. I think it was Dogecoin, where the MACD on a weekly time frame is looking to scoop this zero line. You did last time, and look at what happened here. The last time that you scooped the zero line like this, you found support, and the zero line, if you look over here, it's the zero, that dashed line right there in the middle of the MACD. With the oscillators finding support on that can promote growth. And that wasn't immense growth. It wasn't the most crazy growth you've ever seen, but hey, that was a 10x, man. That's a 10x. You're doing similar things now as what you did last time when you saw a 10x. So 1.6 cents, 1.3 cents is the call. Where are you going to go afterwards? Where are you going to go afterwards, right? It's not appropriate for me to necessarily guess where the all-time highs will be by the end of the cycle, but we do have enough data maybe to make it appropriate. Oftentimes, cryptos go to their 1618s to their 1272s. Sometimes you get to your 1414s only, and I would even say more oftentimes cryptos don't see new all-time highs cycle after cycle, but this thing looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie, it looks pretty damn good. So from here, your 1414, I guess, is your minimum target. That'd be about a 35x from here, 34x, 33x, something like that. $1.35 from here to about 2 cents. That puts it at about a 65x. That's your 1618, and it's very possible you could go all the way up to your 2272. I'm not kidding when I say this thing has multi-hundred x potential. You really could see something that's crazy, man. 600, 700x. It's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen. In fact, I wouldn't bet on it happening. If I had to bet on anything, I would bet that you find resistance probably around $1.35 between there and $3.32 to $4.50 or $4.90, something like that, which is still phenomenal growth, guys. We're talking about like a 240x, 230x at a max, maybe a 67x at a minimum. Of course, you could stop lower and maybe you only get a 30x. Maybe you only get a less than or about a 20x. But that if you only do a 20x from here to the end of the cycle, you're going to underperform the average crypto. And I don't know if this thing does, because looking at this chart, it seems to be actually outperforming the average crypto. A lot of coins are actually at their relative bear market lows. Some of them are even still exploring new lows. So this looks bullish, man. I don't think that it's going to see anything under the average expectation, right? Probably above average and nothing less, right? So something at about a 33x from here to a 62x, very possible. 160x to a 240x, very possible as well. Okay. You could go higher. You could go up to $10, maybe even $12, something like that, and that could be like a 700x, something like that. But I don't know if I would count on that so much, just more accept it as a possible outcome, right? Monthly time frame here, stochastics are getting oversold. Monthly MACD looks fine. Monthly RSI looks fine too. Weekly, I don't mind the RSI. I want to look at the RSI alone though. Let's look at the RSI alone, NCT. Because it's just too much noise for me, man. I need to like single it out sometimes. I can do this. It's like whenever I'm on my own doing analysis, it doesn't matter to me. But when I'm doing it for you guys, I just like I feel like it's too much noise, and I notice it more. Higher lows here, you probably do come down a little bit on a weekly aspect, yes, and that would make sense. A little bit lower, 1.3 to 1.6 cents is the target. Getting oversold on the RSI here, coming out, looking bullish. You got in, you got out. That's normally a good thing, but you did nothing with it. When you do nothing with your good things, you tend to see bad things happen. So downside, and it's not even a bad thing, right? The downside is not a bad thing. It's something to be afraid of. It's something to encourage because you are able to buy at lower prices. It's something to encourage because as soon as you're done finding your low, it's time to move higher, right? We want the downside. We want it to happen now. Rip it off like a band-aid. Just do it overnight. I hope by the end of tomorrow you're at 1 cent, right? And then you'll probably over the next couple weeks see a rapid recovery, something like that. But who knows? Time will tell. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if I have anything else that I want to say about this coin, guys. I think I've run my course. 4-hour time frame, looking like you're oversold. I mean, there's very little that's telling me that you're going to go up from here. Now, with that in mind, actually, before I end the video, keep in mind that if you do move up, that doesn't mean you're absolved of going lower. You could even move up above these highs, and that doesn't absolve you of going lower. But they're higher highs, and we got a higher low. Yeah, you had a higher low here. You had higher highs here, and look at how well that played out for you. To deconfirm or invalidate the goals that I have for you to the downside, what I would need to see, likely first off, I need to see you close above like 3.124 cents. Okay. If you can close above there, I'll start to think that, okay, maybe it's time for you to move up. Maybe this is the low. If you close above 3.7 cents above this 382, absolutely, I think you're validated. Normally I look for the golden ratio to validate you, but with these bigger moves, I mean, that's pretty far away, and it's a good one to count on. It'll be exciting when you get above 5.6 cents. But I think well before then, you'll be breaking out of this trend to the downside, breaking above key areas of resistance there at about 3.1 cents, 3.2 cents. Closing above 3.7 cents would be the dagger and the heart for the bears. So close above there on a daily time frame. Don't wick, just close, right? You wicked there, but you didn't close above there. Close above there on a daily time frame, and I think at that point you're just delirious if you think that this thing's going to go lower, okay? But until then, lower we go. 1.3 to 1.6 cents. I've got nothing else to tell you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.